Okay, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. We're very excited to kickstart this series. But before we go on, we're going to introduce ourselves first. My name is Faidat Badamosi, and while doing that, I'm trying to pull up my screen. Okay, so we can see a slideshow, I believe. So yeah, my name is Faidat Badamosi. Very excited to be here today. So we're starting the iSI iScholar Initiative Graduate Application Mastery and Excellence series, which we call the GAME series. And I'm going to tell you more about this in a bit. But before we go on, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Faidat. I'm a 2019 iScholar. Can't believe it's been 5 years already, and a graduate of the Premier University, University of Ibadan. And I'm a current graduate student at the University of South Carolina here in the USA, where I'm pursuing a PhD in organic chemistry. And one interesting fact about me is, well, right now I volunteer with iSI as the operations manager. So and really, what's iSI about? So our vision is really to build a younger and self-driven generation for future leadership, innovation, and overall development of Africa. And right now we are on a mission, and we've been on that mission since 2019, seeking to mentor and empower young African students in fulfilling their dreams to pursue graduate studies via access to fully funded scholarships. And how do we do this? We provide support, whether through finance, through mentorship. Even what we're doing right now is a way we try to provide support to anyone interested in pursuing fully funded graduate opportunities. And in 2020 or 2021, some of our scholars came together and put out a book that is free and available on our website. So this book is called The iScholar Guide, Your Grad School Journey Compass. You know, the way you use a compass to find directions. We believe this book can help you find all the directions, the tips, the cardinals of the whole graduate school admission process. And so right now, this year, for fall 2024, um, for let's say between August to December, we are starting this thing called Graduate Application Mastery and Excellence Game. It's a series, a bi-weekly series, so it's going to be every 2 weeks, and we're going to be sharing tips and tricks to help you craft winning graduate school applications. So we hope you would be here every 2 weeks as you start with us right now in August until December. And once we're done in December, once you submit your application, we can't wait to hear about your fully funded offers in January or February. Don't forget to share that with us. So so today is our first game series. So let's say game one. So I want to know if you're ready for game one. You can just let me know in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you can use the live chat also. So let us know. Are you ready for game one? Okay, let's go. So moving into game one, where we're talking about staying motivated and keeping the right mindset. So we decided to talk about this because going into this grad school application journey, it's really a marathon. It's something that there are going to be ups and downs. So you really need to start the journey with the right mindset. And even starting with that right mindset, you also need to learn to continue to be motivated. So we hope that in this session, you would learn different strategies to help you keep the right mindset and stay motivated. And we have two amazing speakers today. One is Ayomide Kazim. Ayomide is a 2023 I Scholar and currently a second-year PhD student in the Department of Civil Engineering at Case Western Reserve University here in the US. And she's a 2024 Cargo X Fellow, and she also serves as a committee member of Women in Academia Committee, amongst other organizations that she currently volunteers for. And one very amazing and interesting fact about Ayomide is she completed an HND degree and moved directly to a fully funded PhD program. She is amazing. I can remember the first time when I talked to Ayomide, I was just like so inspired listening to her and what her journey has been so far. And our second speaker today is Comfort. So Comfort is a 2023 I Scholar also and a first-class graduate of biochemistry from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. And she has worked as a scientific researcher at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital. So right now, Comfort has just begun a fully funded PhD program in biomedical sciences at the West Virginia University School of Medicine. So with this, I'm going to just take a back seat so we can go right into game one, which is staying motivated and keeping the right mindset. So I'm going to stop sharing. And so Ayomide, Comfort, you guys, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Hi, everyone. I am Ayomide, but I prefer Zul because it's easier for everyone to say, I guess. And just like Faida said, that we're going to be discussing how to stay motivated and also how to keep the right mindset. I'm trying. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Comfort and I worked tirelessly on this using our experience, basically. It's a compilation of our experience. And we'll just be walking you through strategies that we used that help us through the application process.
Yeah. Before you go on, there's this black thing on your screen and another.
Oh, is it okay now?
Uh, I it's still there on my screen. Anyone else can help to help us confirm if they can see it.
Okay. I don't know. I guess if I probably try again.
Uh-huh.
Is it better now?
There are a couple of black stops here and there.
That is weird. Okay. I think is it okay now?
Okay, so right now it's the presenter's mode. You want to switch it again?
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, I think there's some other applications open on the screen or something. So you want to
No,
maybe.
I think the messages coming in like for people joining I get notifications for that too.
Oh, I see.
Is the screen okay now?
But you want to switch to the slideshow, the full slide.
Oh,
Just,
sorry, I'm in presenters mode.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is it better now?
Uh, I still see the
I
black.
okay, that's really weird. I'm sorry, I don't um
Yeah,
is it
can anyone else in the room? It's still there. Okay. So
still there? Okay, maybe I should I don't know.
can you maybe share your like screen, not just the application? I think it might fix that.
Probably. Okay. Is it better now?
Mm, it's still there.
Okay.
But
Probably
that's
I should send it to you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I'll
while we're
just
fixing all of that, so let's know where you guys are joining us from. Whether you're on YouTube or you're here on Zoom, let us know where you're joining us from and what your expectations are. Who has applied already? And okay, we have someone from Anambra State. Okay.
can I have your email?
Yeah.
Thank you.
From Port Harcourt. Okay. Oyo State, Lagos State. Oh, Niger State. Awesome. Ogun State. Great. Ekiti. Planet Earth. Okay, nice. Who else? Who is on Jupiter? Or who is in Jupiter?
I've sent it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I got it. Ogun State. Okay. Okay. So what programs are you guys looking to apply for? Master's, PhD, and what countries are you interested in? Finance, US, okay. Master's Agricultural Economics, awesome. Okay. If you're joining us on YouTube, please use the live chat. We can see your messages too. So we're all together here. While I'm gonna pull up my screen now and get us started.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah. So just
And I'm
making
so
sure
sorry
that you
about
can
that.
see the full slideshow, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So just an overview of, like I was saying, this presentation just aims for us to share our own experience through the whole application journey. An overview of our presentation today is to introduce to you some of the overview of the presentation and telling you the meaning of motivation and the right mindset, as well as the importance of the motivation and also keeping a right mindset. Yeah, and also sharing strategies for staying motivated and keeping the right mindset. And there will be room for conclusion and also discussions as well. Oh, the next slide, thank you. So applying to graduate school can be a really overwhelming journey, and it is one that you should always approach with confidence and clarity. We'll be sharing what we've learned, focusing on how to keep a sound mind throughout the whole process. And this is just for everyone, whether you're starting your application or you're knee deep in the application process. And I hope that this insight we share with you helps you to stay motivated, manage stress, and ultimately succeed in your endeavors. We'll be sharing recommendations based on our experience with graduate school application. We'll also highlight key lessons learned that can help maintain a sound mind throughout the application journey. Hopefully give you a new mindset. and offer practical advice for managing stress and challenges for applying to grad school. So, what is motivation? Motivation is an internal state that drives individuals to engage in goal directed behaviors. It encompasses all of the reasons and all of the desires that compels a person to act. And these actions can be influenced by intrinsic factors, which could be due to personal satisfaction, or they could be extrinsic, which could be reward from you or from people all around you. And what is the right mindset? The right mindset refers to a positive and a growth oriented mental attitude that encourages individual to embrace challenges, learn from all of this feedback from the challenges, and also persist in the face of obstacle. It helps you to develop resilience and a belief that you have the ability to achieve everything that you can and want to. Why is it so important to have the right mindset and also to be motivated, particularly for those who are in the process of applying to graduate school? It helps maintain focus and determination that even though you're faced with challenges, you're still able to overcome them. It encourages you to persist through setback because you view them as an opportunity to learn. I particularly like this Albert Einstein's quote that people who don't make mistakes don't learn any new thing. And I can tell you that that is true. It also fosters a proactive approach to problem solving and decision making. When you've been able to overcome many challenges, or when you're faced with new ones, you actually can able to make decisions timely and effectively. It enhances, it builds your confidence, which can positively impact interactions such as interview and networking opportunities, not just during your application process, but also when you start your graduate school. People often remember a speaker's confidence more than they remember a speaker's content because 55% of communication is your body language, 38% is your tone, while only 70% is actually what you say. So you want to project as much confidence as you want through your SOP, your CV, and a whole lot. And finally, overall well-being. When you're able to have the right mindset and you're also motivated, you have a good physical, mental, and even emotional mind frame. So, what are some of the strategies that we employed during our own application and we think could be really useful for all of you guys, no matter what stage of application you're in? The first is understanding your why. Reflect on your goals. What are the reasons why you're pursuing graduate school? For all of us, it is different. Some people just really love learning so much that they want to get a PhD. Other people just want to get a PhD because they want to go into the industry and would probably provide them with better pay grade, while others want to become professors or researchers. But whatever your reason is, it is always good to always reflect and always remind yourself the reasons why you're pursuing graduate school and identify your passion. What excites you the most? For me, it's about learning new things and also being able to teach, to mentor, and also the possibility that I'm going to go out there and change the world, no matter how little it is. Every single research you do, every single presentation you give really matters because you're changing people's mindset. Some people don't know some things you're sharing, and it's just really good to educate people. That's what drives me. And it's always good to identify what drives you and also visualize your success. Some of you are still applying to schools. You haven't gotten the big yes you need yet, but you could pretend that you've gotten it. You could pretend that a code email comes in and it's a positive response, or a really good congratulations letter comes in from application. When you picture the outcome of your desires, such as career advancement or personal growth, you're able to really focus and make plans and just stay motivated. Next slide, please. So when you've identified what your goals are, how do you make them achievable? particularly for graduate school, because you have a whole lot of things to do, it would be helpful to break it down. Divide application process into smaller, manageable tasks, such as researching programs, writing personal statements, getting fee waiver, sending code mails. It's really helpful for you not to put all of them in the same box, but break it down into different manageable and smaller tasks. After breaking all of these tasks into manageable items, it'll also be helpful if you can categorize them into daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. You aim to complete at least one task each day, each month, each week to maintain a sense of progress and accomplishment. You want to make your goals smart. And that is one of the ways that you can actually get the most out of your application. Your goals have to be specific. Say, for instance, you want to send a code mail to a professor, or you want to send a mail to a grad code. The specific goal would be, I want to send a mail to a grad code to get application fee waiver. It's specific and you want it to be measurable. The measuring part of the goal is that you want to get fee waiver. So when you get fee waiver, you're able to measure that, oh, I have accomplished this goal. And you also want the goal to be attainable in the sense that, do I have what it takes to actually send the code mail? Do I have the grad code's email or whatever it is you need? Do I have a draft of the email? And you also want your goal to be relevant. Is sending a mail to a grad code relevant to your application process? Is getting a fee waiver in that particular school relevant? And is it timed? So an example of a SMART goal is, I would like to send a mail to a grad code to get application fee waiver by the end of today. That goal is specific because it's smart, because it's specific, it's measurable, it is attainable, it is relevant, and it is timed. So I haven't gotten a view of your goal. You've kind of scribbled on the paper to get directions to what you're doing. And then you've also made them smart. You have to organize them. And some of the tools which we used during our time is keeping a calendar or planner to track deadlines and tasks. I really love to-do lists. They're like my favorite things. I have like sticky notes all over the place, or just diaries that I scribble things on, or even on my phone, I just list, oh, today this is what I hope to accomplish. Another really helpful tool is using the Eisenhower matrix. I particularly like it because it helps you categorize all of these tasks that you've scribbled or you've identified as daily, weekly, and monthly into different quadrants. So you have the first quadrant, which is urgent and important tasks. These are tasks that you need to do. These tasks are with deadlines or have consequence, like your overall application packet have to be submitted by, say, December 15th. And then you have the second quadrant, which is tasks that are important but not so urgent. And these are tasks that you can schedule. These tasks are with unclear deadlines but contribute to the long-term success. This could be mailed to a grad code for application fee waiver. It's important, but is it really as important as submitting your application packet? Not really. And then you have tasks that are urgent but not important. You can delegate these tasks. These tasks must get done, but don't require your specific skill set, which means somebody else might be able to do this for you. Probably getting a compilation of schools you can apply to, or visiting different schools for tour. These are things you could actually ask a friend to do for you, or a team member to do for you. So you will have more time to actually focus on the urgent and important tasks. And then you have tasks that are not urgent and neither are important. These tend to be distractions and unnecessary tasks. And distractions are relative. So a task that is a distraction to me is not a distraction to you. So there's no one size fits all. You just have to look for and put all of these tasks in the necessary quadrants. And also visualization tools to track and outline. Like in my office, I have a board and I put sticky notes on it because sometimes I just get a mail from my advisor or from a lecturer that I need to do something. I just scribble on it and put it on the wall. It's there. There's always this constant reminder that I have something to do. You may do it on your phone. There are softwares like Miro and Lucid Chats. A bunch of all of those softwares can be really helpful. But I'm a very traditional person and I like paper and pen. So I scribble things using sticky notes and I put them on the board just to remind me. And I really like colorful sticky notes as well. And another way to stay organized is regularly review. Frequently review your to-do list to stay on top of your responsibility. As much as you've classified all of these tasks into daily, weekly, and monthly, and you've also put them in the appropriate quadrant of urgent, important, not urgent, not important. It's also helpful for you to review regularly. Life can get in the way. Some of you are working and also applying to grad school at the same time. Some of you, others have equally important things that you're doing. And these things may conflict with each other. And it's okay for life to get in the way, but it's really helpful for you to review, oh, what was I able to achieve today? What wasn't I able to achieve today? What were the reasons behind that? Because you get to learn from all of the mistakes you make. And it helps to also replan all of these things. Having certain a really smart goal and staying organized, it is important for you to manage your time. You have a very good to-do list. You have your tasks classified as urgent and not urgent. You have the tasks you're going to complete at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and at the end of the month. But like I said, life can get in the way, and you need to really manage all of these things together. So balance your commitments. You have work to do. I mean, for those who are working and you have your graduate application to focus on. When you're not working, why can't you focus on your grad application? So you need to really balance this commitment so they don't clash and you don't end up losing one or both of them at the same time. Allocate specific time blocks. I conducted a social review, I think last year, on how much productivity I would gain if I could stay away from my phone for an hour. And at the end of the survey, I noticed that I was 60 times more efficient in that I completed tasks that would normally take me 5 hours if I was constantly getting messages on my phone, replying to text, or calling up my friends while I'm working. I completed them in 1 hour. It was really impressive. And that's when I decided that, oh, when I'm at school at this particular period, my phone would always be on D&D because I need to stay away from all of those distractions. Then that helps you to eliminate, sorry, that helps you to eliminate distractions because you're able to allocate specific time blocks. You could probably just set reminders of specific times and, oh, for the next 1 hour, I am only focusing on writing my SOP. For the next hour, I'm focusing on finishing and sending a code email to a professor. Specific time blocks helps you eliminate distraction and set deadlines. Humans that I've noticed get to be more proactive towards the end of deadline. It's not really good. I don't like working on deadlines. They help guide me and they help me become proactive, but at the same time they can be really annoying, but overall they're really good. So if you set a deadline, say by the end of next week, I need to send a code email. You notice that as that next week looms or draws closer, you start ignoring every other distraction and just, oh, I have a deadline. I need to meet this deadline. So you automatically, your brain or your body kind of makes you focus on that. So deadlines keep you on your feet and adjust as needed. Like I said, there is like no one size fits all, and life can get in the way. So when you notice that there are conflict with other events in your life, it will be really helpful for you to adjust your task, maybe move it forward, move it out of the way, or assign for someone else to do for you. Now, I'm not asking you to assign someone to write your SOP or a code email, no. But like I said, using the Eisenhower quadrants or the matrix, you'll be able to delegate tasks that other people can actually do for you. So you can focus on other important things and include breaks. As much as you want to meet deadlines, you want to go to work, send application packets in, it is really important for you to take a break. And that leads to my favorite part, which is prioritizing self-care and reward. You have the whole long list of SOPs and code mails, drafting, sending mails to people for recommendation letter. You have a whole lot of stuff you're doing, preparing for GRE, IELTS, and then you're working, and then you have family to take care of, your friends calling you up. All of this can get really overwhelming and stressful in the long run. So sometimes you just want to take a break, and it's okay to take a break. No one's going to fault you for it. Make time for yourself. And this could be through hobbies or exercising or just social networking. Like when I am really stressed and I know that I need to recharge, I just go for a run or I play chess or I just keep solving my Rubik's Cube. And there's sometimes where I know I am so stressed, but I can't leave my seat. I just keep squeezing my stress balls because they help. The stress balls help when you keep like it just takes your mind off the current work and you're able to recharge, you're able to think about other things that you love to do. Establish a reward system. When you've accomplished a really amazing milestone, or you've reached a milestone, like you've sent in your SOP, you've submitted your SOP, and then you've submitted an application for one particular school, you can reward yourself. You could go get ice cream, or you could hang out with your friends, or spend an hour extra on social media. That is a way to reward yourself. And during that, you kind of isolate yourself from every other distraction. You're recharging your mind, seeing funny reels and just watching what people are doing out there. And also celebrate achievement. It is really helpful. Humans really love to be appreciated, either at work or at school. It just makes you feel so good when someone comes up and tells you, oh, congratulations on winning this, or congratulations on sending your code mails in, even though you haven't gotten a reply yet, or even when you've gotten a reply, like, oh, I got a reply from a professor. Yay, go me. You can really celebrate all of those achievements. And that period, it is just about you. You're not thinking about work, you're not thinking about school, you're recharging your mind. And avoid burnout. I have experienced this before. Like the first year of my grad school, I was so enthusiastic that I wanted to start my research immediately, wanted to start all of the courses I could take at once, wanted to join so many leadership organizations. As much as those things are really nice, and it's good to be enthusiastic about your research, your goals, because those things lead to better things, it is also advisable that you take one step at a time, because you don't want to do too many things and fit too many things in the box that it eventually explodes. So always watch out for burnout signs and be careful. All of this would help you recharge. Now I am going to transfer the remaining over to my colleague to take you through the remaining details. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ayomide has said a lot about staying motivated and having the right mindset. One of the things I would like to say in building a support network. Like you need people. You can't do it all alone. Next slide, please. You have to connect with peers. Have people in your community who you're also driving towards the same goal. Graduate school, it's a marathon. You don't want to do it alone. I started applying to schools in 2020, and I didn't get a favorable response until 2023. That was because I felt, oh, I graded the first class, I know what it takes, I could do it alone, and all of that. So I kept getting rejection emails and all of that. But 2023, I changed my mindset towards the application process. I started reaching out to people. I got to know, oh, via eBay signature, you can actually reach out to a lot of professors and they will reply your mail. I got to know what generic statement of purpose does to our application process. So I learned that I have to write a specific statement of purpose for each schools if I want to get a result. After that, I got to know, oh, there we can always have a community whereby we can assign tasks for ourselves. Oh, by the end of this week, I want to have the report that I've reached out to 20 professors in my program. By the end of this week, I want to ensure I have a format to request for application fee waivers. And trust me, the result was inspiring. The result was inspiring and the outcome was great because we were able to look out for ourselves. I was able to know, oh, there's someone online paying application fees for schools as long as you have your GRE scores above 300. I got a wealth of information, things I was not able to achieve in 3 years of my application process. I was able to achieve it because I was in the community of scholars who we are also aspiring for a common goal. So have people in your community so that because sometimes you send mails to professors, you can apply to 20 schools and you don't even get a response. Sometimes those processes can actually be overwhelming and you feel like, oh, I think I'm complacent and satisfied with my level. Do I want to do this again? I don't have the strength, I don't have the energy. But then when you're in a community of scholars, at some point in my application process, I realized I wasn't getting feedback. Then someone told me he has sent 15 emails and me, I've only sent maybe about 10 and I'm tired. Me hearing that, it changed my mindset. It instilled resilience in me and I was like, no, I'm going to do this. If this person has not given up, it's too early to give up. Giving up is not an option. So you want to ensure you are not doing it all alone. If you are doing it all alone, depression can easily set in. You might be like, oh, anything about application, I want to stop applying. It was via the community of scholars I got to know, oh, why not try to apply to US schools? You get funded because I realized I have a lot of admissions from UK, but then there was no funding. I was not happy. I was like, I have admission, but I can't go to the school. Why? So it was through information. So you need information, quality information about all it takes to to get admission into your desired schools. And also I would say mentorship. Mentorship play an indispensable role in graduate application process. Always know that there's someone who has the results of whatever you are looking for. When I was applying for my programs in biomedical science, I know there are always someone. When you walk on the shoulders of giants, success is inevitable. So mentorship is an indispensable role in your graduate application process. Reach out to your mentors. They might not have your time, but disturb them. After your persistent disturbance, they will create time for you. Reach out to your mentors, reach out to people who you know they are already in your desired schools. They will give you hints and help guide your application process. Via that, you get to know, oh, these schools, if you actually reach out to the program coordinator, you will be given application fee waiver and all of that. So that way you get the correct information you need for your graduate application process. Another another thing you want to look at is what if I fail? One thing you have to know is I remember I applied to a total of 9 schools last year and December, January, February period was not an easy period for me because I kept getting rejection emails. But then one thing that really helped me was because my mentor told me, don't worry, those schools, they don't deserve you. A better school is coming. So that kind of inspired me and boosted my confidence because it was not easy handling rejection after writing GRE, TOEFL, writing statement of purpose, reaching out to professors. So, but then you must always see failure as an opportunity to learn. Could it be that there was something I didn't do well? Even like looking at my application process this year and the statement of purpose I've been writing in time past, I know if I'm the admission committee, I can't even grant the admission to myself because previous years I was busy writing generic statement of purpose. I just edit the name of the school, then I sent to another school. So I know I was not doing well. So mentorship is one thing you don't want to rule out. Through mentorship, you have a change mindset about failure. Failure comes, but then even the popular Thomas Edison, it was after several failures that was when he was able to achieve a success. You can't actually say you are successful until you have failed and tried again. And one of these things is that even when failure comes, still believe in yourself. It's not a reflection of your goal. It's just part of the process. It's part of the learning process, and your yes will definitely come. So don't be too hard on yourself. Like when you fail, oh, I'm not going to do this again. I remember I applied for the iScholar initiative twice, and the second time I was applying, I didn't even want to submit my application because I was like, I was not granted the first time. Why should I apply for this? I submitted my application a day to deadline, and who knows? So you just have to keep trying, keep doing your best. If I was not compassionate enough, and I might not have submitted my second application to iSI, and who knows, I might not be where I am today. So you have to practice self-compassion on yourself. Don't say, oh, once I apply this year and I'm not getting it, forget graduate school. So sometimes you have to sit back and evaluate our application package. Until I started using email signature, I never get response from any professors. And do you even know that some schools you don't even need to reach out to a professor before you get admitted? So it is at that stage that you can now speak out to a mentor and know, oh, what actually went wrong with my application? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to reach out to a professor? This and that. Then you have to re-strategize, then reapply again, reapply again. Sometimes we feel, oh, after my bachelor's degree is going to be easy. There are always hurdles to cross. The grass is not always greener on the other side. So, but the picture of your desired future will actually motivate you. So after the when the result is not what you expect, reapply again, and that years to come. Next slide. Now, the next thing is to maintain perspective. Even when you are overwhelmed, like I know some of us working 9 to 6, getting when you get home, do I still have the motivation to carry my GRE? Do I still have the motivation to carry my TOEFL? Can I still do this? But this is one of the things that really helped me. You have to ask important life question. With what I'm doing currently, can I achieve my short-term, long-term, and mid-term goal with my level of investment? I know to haze the GRE, I need to go through the Manhattan series, go through the official guide and all of that. But am I investing quality time in this, in writing my statement of purpose? So by the time you ask yourself important life questions, you will be able to evaluate where you are on your way to where you are going. And the next question you want to ask is, am I duly informed of what it takes to haze an application process? Am I duly informed? Because information is the key. When you are applying to schools, there are schools that you need first author publication to before you can be considered for an admission. There are schools that they don't even require GRE for your program. All they need is a well-written statement of purpose. So am I duly informed? Even with my GRE scores, what schools will consider me for admission, what schools will not consider me for admission, the schools I intend to apply to, do they favor diversity, equity, and inclusion? So these are the questions you need to ask. And what is the acceptance rate? Like through via information, I realize I don't even need to apply to Harvard before I get an admission, and a single years could change the narrative. And the next thing you have to ask yourself is, am I ready to do the work? Because, like I said, graduate application process is a marathon. When for some of us, when we get the iSI award, oh, we are very happy, you are excited, people were testing you, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. You thought that was it. In the long run, you realize you have to start preparing for your exams, and your performance on that exam also determines the next level, the next stage. So graduate application process, it's a marathon. You can't you can't say, since I received the ISI award, I can start to sleep and relax and enjoy. There is always work to do. So am I ready to do the work? Am I ready to invest in all my all into it to ensure I achieve my desired goal? Maybe your long-term goal is to be a budding researcher. Maybe your long-term goal is to solve the problem of breast cancer in Nigeria, which is one of the leading cause of death. Like when you have that picture in mind, even when you come back home tired, your vision will drive you. So another question you can ask yourself is, am I satisfied with my current status? Can I give my community the best with the level of knowledge and the depth I have? Then the next thing, have a picture of your desired future in mind at all times. Even when you know at this level you don't have what it takes, but when you look at the picture of your future, that kind of motivates you. Oh, that this is where I'm going. No matter the hurdles, I'm going to try. What if I fail? I will go again. What if I fail? I will go again. And next thing is reflect on your progress. Even when things are not working, you have to tell yourself, remember your past success, reflect on your progress, and appreciate God for where you are. Another thing is regularly visit your motivation and the reasons why you embark on this journey. That in a way will help you maintain the right perspective when you look at, oh, this is why I want to go to graduate school. This is what I intend to do. 5 years, this is what I hope to achieve. Although it might take time, but then you keep trying, and with once you are able to answer all these questions, I think you are good to go. So our conclusion is, graduate school application is a marathon. Your path and stories are unique. Never compare yourself with anyone, with your classmates. Comparison will not take you far. Embrace all of the experience, both the good and bad. Resilience is the key. Keep the goal close and keep it clear. Thank you.
Oh my God, this is amazing because not just even about applying to grad school. I think a lot of these are even relevant to when you are in grad school. I have learned so much for this that even at this stage that I am, I still like need to use some of these tips and strategies that you've shared. So thank you so much, Ayomide Zul or Zul and Comfort for taking your time to put this together, to come teach us, to come help us. And I don't know. I would just let the participants that are here let us know. Can you just appreciate Ayomide and Comfort just in the chat? If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a message in the chat. They're gonna see it. And I must say, this is outstanding. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad and thankful that iSI is putting or has put this session together as the very first session before we actually begin this grad school application journey. Because I think it is very, very necessary for us to start with the right mindset, keep the right mindset, and stay motivated. So thank you so much again, Ayomide and Comfort. Can we give them e-clap? Yeah. So we're going to go right into a question. I can see that we are actually out of time, but we would plead with everyone to give us just a few extra time so that we can take any questions that you have. We had some technical things at the start. So hopefully in the next session, we'll make sure that everything is perfect and we can go right into it from the very beginning. So please put your questions in the chat. If you're on YouTube, put it in the chat box. If you're on Zoom, put it in the chat box. We're gonna ask our um, speakers any questions you have. But yes, thank you so much, Comfort and Ayomide. Thank you for sharing all of this with us. I think I might have to start with the question because I just, as you guys were talking, I was remembering how I started this journey also, and I could really relate with a lot of things. And something that I could relate with so well was when you mentioned 9 to 6, and then you get home, you're like, oh, I still have to go through the GRE and all. How can someone like manage that, especially when you have like that 9 a.m.? Well, because I stayed in Lagos. I had to wake up like 6 a.m. or 5:30, be on the road so that you get to work early. And then when you get back, it's like 7 p.m. But in all of this, you're still preparing for the GRE, the TOEFL, putting together your statement of purpose. How can someone like how can someone manage this and set themselves up for success?
Would you want to take the question?
No, anyone.
Okay. I guess I could start. So while I applied for grad school, I was doing my NYSC at Huawei, which is a telecom company in Nigeria. And if anyone is familiar with telecom company, it's that they don't stick to 9 to 5. Trust me. You should get to work as early as 6 in the morning. And sometimes I leave around 12 at night. And I think one of the things that helped me to combine those two things together is I wasn't a very social person. So on the weekends, I was always home. Those times are the times that I dedicate to searching for schools and sending code mails. And another thing that really helped me was I kind of started my journey earlier. I started when I was in like ND2, which is a long time, but I started in ND2 compiling schools because I knew what I wanted to do at the end of my HND. So that made it easy. But for those who just are new to the whole idea, I think you have to dedicate time. You have to make sacrifices. Maybe on the weekend, you could decide, I am going to focus on like 2 weekends in a month would be for my application process, everything about it. I'm just going to ignore all other things. And maybe during breaks at work, but honestly, I don't think that's enough because you're going to be tired and stressed. But the best strategy is on the weekend. You could actually use that a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I will just go through questions as quick as possible. So we have a question on YouTube. Someone is asking, how do you manage rejection, especially when you see your colleagues who you apply together get accepted and that without losing focus?
Well, okay, me getting admission 5 years after graduation, you be like, oh, my colleague, third year PhD students, oh this, oh that, oh that. You know, that is not going to take you far. Your path and story are unique. The kind of where you are going is different from where other else is going. So the earlier you understand that your path is unique, the better, because comparison will not take you far. For 2 years, I was looking, oh, look at this person, look at this person. I never achieved anything. Your path, your future, your destiny, it's unique. It's peculiar to you, Even when it comes to people will tell you stories. For good 4 years, I procrastinated about writing GRE because I kept having the picture in my mind, oh, this person is very good. He wrote GRE and he failed. I don't think I want to write this exam. This person did the GRE, he was the best graduate student and he failed. I don't think I want to write this exam. When you have bad comparison, you also have good one. Oh, is now in New York, is now in Texas. It's not going to take you far. You are not going to achieve a lot with that. Just focus on yourself, focus on your life, focus on your goal. Ask important questions. The only thing you can do with that is probably to ask them question. Oh, how do you think I can haste this? Rather than comparing. That's it.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And just like she has said, comparison would not really take anyone anywhere, and our paths are really, really unique. I'll go right to the next question. Is it advisable to reapply to a university that rejected your application the previous year?
Um, First of all, the rejection is not on you, trust me. It's they're just not like they just don't see what your potentials are. And secondly, to answer your question, I think you should. I mean, the worst that could happen is I hope not, but the worst that could happen is another no. But the fact that you're in the pool, there's a 50 chance that you might get in. That's the worst that could happen. If there is application fee waiver, if probably someone replies your code mail or doesn't. But if you have the fee waiver, you have all of the materials, you could just apply just for applying. And once you're in the pool, there is still the chance that you would get in.
Yeah. And just to
Okay.
add,
I would like to. I would like to.
uh, could you mute first? Okay. Now, can you unmute?
Okay. I would like to add that.
There's an echo.
Well, I would like to add that.
Echo. I think you're using two devices, so you want to like
Yeah.
remove the audio on one of them. While she's fixing that, I would add that I've heard people say they reach out to like the grad code or something before reapplying a second time. It's possible they could tell you what did not go well, right? Sometimes it might not even be your SOP. It could be that your referee just puts, he's a good boy, give him an offer or something. They give you those kind of like feedback. So you could actually reach out to them and ask for feedback. And that could help you when you're reapplying. So they have the echo. So while she's fixing that, and once she fixes that, she's gonna add to that. But I'll go right to the next question. So someone is asking, I want to know more about diversity and inclusion. This question is kind of broad, so if you want to make it specific, I think that will help us. And the second question is, when is one expected to send application fee via email?
So different schools have different deadlines, and I think that is the first thing you need to identify. What is the deadline of the school that this prospective school that I want to apply to? If you're able to identify when the application opens and when it closes, which I'm thinking would be before it opens, you can go ahead and send it in. Some schools give application fee waiver, from my experience, as early as 3 months prior, and some give within the whole process and close to the end or all through the whole process. So it differs from schools to school. But the schools that I've applied to, I got my application fee waiver 2 months before I send it in emails or attending webinars, while others, they told me to hold on to when the application actually started and then they sent it back to me. But you could send the email beforehand. It would allow you collect information such as if there is application fee waiver available at all, because sometimes some schools would categorically tell you that you have to pay, that it's not available. And it would also inform you on when this fee waiver would come in. So you could send it as early as possible. They'll respond to you.
Thank you for sharing that. Comfort, do you think your audio is good now?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to comment on the like applying to school that rejected you last year. So like last year I applied to one school and I asked for the reason why I was rejected, and the graduate coordinator was kind enough to tell me, oh, I didn't have a first doctor publication, 120 students applied and they interviewed five. So that way I was able to know the reason why I was rejected. So I I don't have any intention of applying there in future times, but that way I know some of the things they look out for in their students.
Awesome. So just like I mentioned, you could ask for feedback, and I'm glad that she just talked about that. So please, if you have questions again, put it in the chat. If you're on YouTube, please put it in the chat. We're gonna ask we're gonna read it out to our speakers. So someone on YouTube is asking, can you please enlighten us on how to go directly into PhD from first degree? Uh I think I'm going to just say that. Okay, I'll let you go before I comment.
Okay.
That's pretty
Um,
good.
Applying to a PhD from first degree, in fact, I would say, although during my undergraduate program, my lecturer mentioned something like that to me, but in my mind, having a fixed mindset, I felt it was not possible. So until I got into iSI, and one thing was, when I got into iSI, I saw a lot of people who went for their PhD straight without masters, and I got to know that for my kind of program, biomedical sciences, the PhD program comes with full funding, while the master's program might not. So what I just had to do was to check through the application requirements, and I applied, and I know quite a number of people, just that it does not require much. Some require GRE, TOEFL, and you will submit application. And I even have some persons who didn't even write GRE, TOEFL, and they got PhD program. So it's not really a difficult thing here to
Yeah.
do.
So just to add to what she has said, a lot of us actually moved directly from our bachelor's to PhD. I don't have a master's. I moved directly from my bachelor's to a PhD. Um, Zul from a HND to a PhD and like that. So it's definitely possible. You do not need to like have a master's degree. And just like I said when we started the session, you could go through the iScholar guide. We possibly have talked about something like this. So you just really need to know how to put your application together and then just shoot that shot. You can get it. So I think I see that there are no more questions. So I guess we still want to keep it within. We've been here for about 70 minutes now, so we want to keep it to an hour so that everyone would come back in the next 2 weeks with the same energy. But I can see one more question that just popped up now, if you guys don't mind. I'm gonna read this one. There is a lot of emphasis on the importance of a specific research interest when writing the SOP. However, this reduces the number of faculty members carrying out research in that specific area in the department of each school. Please, how do we navigate this?
Right, I can go first.
Mhm.
Um, so when I started my own application, I had like a specific research that I wanted to do. I was really adamant about that. I wasn't going to change my mind. But then I realized later on that there are a lot of interconnected research. Right? One would lead to another eventually, or one is connected to another. So the first thing I would like to say is, as much as possible, you want to be open to some choices. Of course, you don't want to just any research area is good as long as I go. But I'm still, if this doesn't, if machine learning doesn't work out in infrastructural resiliency, maybe I can work on smart materials. Yes, streamlining your research area kind of limits the number of faculty members that you will be reaching out to. But another thing to broaden that would be to have like a first choice, a second choice. So since infrastructural resiliency is connected and related to smart materials, maybe those two or either one of them could work for me. But if you feel like it is just that one research area, it could also be helpful if you look at multiple countries. If you've seen that the US is kind of limited, you could also look at other countries. that are carrying out that research area. That's from my experience.
Thank you for sharing, Zo. Comfort, do you wanna?
Well, no, because for my, I think this is more applicable in cases whereby you have to reach out to a PI. For my kind of program, for all of my applications, I didn't have to reach out to a PI, and even the schools I reach out to a PI, I was told it's not needed. So if I'm hoping to research on breast cancer and I realize even if it is just two faculty members that are working on breast cancer, I reference them in my statement of purpose. I talk about the facilities they are using and how I would also love to learn from their wealth of experience, how I would love to rotate in their laboratory if laboratory rotation is allowed. And with that, I think I'm good to go. But in cases whereby you have to reach out to PI, I think that is here, this is more
Okay.
applicable.
Yeah, thank you so much. And just like she has said, some programs require that you reach out, you send code emails. Some do not. So that's why we always say find out what your program needs. Find out by yourself by going to the department website, by reaching out to the grad quad. The fact that everyone is sending code emails, it doesn't necessarily mean that you also have to send code emails. So you need to understand what kind of program that you're like applying for. So with this, we would like to end the session, but before we go, we have a request for all our participants, whether you're on Zoom or you're on YouTube. We want you to tell a friend to tell another friend about the game series. We all like to play games, right? So why don't we come and play the graduate school game? So please tell a friend to tell another friend that will tell another friend about game, about the knowledge we're sharing here, about how we're trying to set everyone up for success in their graduate school application. And we would also appreciate you commenting or posting on your social media and tagging us with some of the things that you've learned from this session today. So iScholar Initiative on YouTube, iScholar Initiative on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we would ask that you subscribe right now so that whenever we go live and we start the session, you would get the notification directly on your phone. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.